Okay, guys, so let's not wait any longer to introduce the second match of the finals in the console platform between TAKEMAN versus Zilo.
Hi, my name is Zilo. I am 19 years old and I am the European Club Event Champion for Milan. Representing AC Milan is a huge honour for me. Not only that, it gives me extra motivation to perform at my highest level. I think the hardest matchup will be against the Brazilian player Fusteso. He's a really smart and skillful player and he has a lot of experience. There will be no easy matches, but if I'm being honest, I do see myself as the favourite. I've prepared well and my form has been strong. When I make it to the World Finals, there's only one objective, and that's to be the World Champion.
Well, we heard it there from the horse's mouth. His toughest match is the one that he just played, Wes. And sadly for young Zilo, he will enter this match on the stream with no points to his name after forfeiting that lead against his toughest match previously.
Yeah, and I think that's a difficult spot to come into a game with. You know, knowing that you've gone out, lost your first game, marginally, might I add. But you have that confidence that you can go again. You know, you have to kind of almost have goldfish brain and just forget it all happened and go again.
Well, here we are then. It's the return of Takeman. We just saw him salvage a point against his opponent, a fan play style. And we can introduce Zilo. Man, we just heard from our Europe and Africa regional winner playing in the all-changed white strip, trying the improvised turn there, the ball just getting away from him. He's 19 years of age. He's the youngest console player we have here today at our club event finals. And we mentioned at the top of the show, obviously was just one game away from joining some eFootball history, royalty, if you will, in becoming a world champion at 17 years of age.
Yeah, it makes me feel old as that when I spoke to him last week after national triumph, and he very casually said to me, I remember playing you when I was 13 years old, and I immediately felt, I'm an unk now. That's how I kind of felt, but it just goes to show you that that's the longevity that he's got already. Yes, we talk about him being 19 years old, but this is a man now that we have seen grow up within the camera lens as opportunity here for him to make first impression.
Here's the young Pole on the ball, back to Liao, oh, and that's what he can produce. At a moment's notice. Beautiful build-up into the box, pulled it back to who else? We're going to get sick of saying his name today. It's Liao scoring first.
Well, I channeled my inner Anna as that I was just marvelling at that beautiful piece of play. You'll see it again here, is that you think, oh, he's turned down a cul-de-sac, he's turned into a brick wall. No, instead, improvised back heel, wonderful finish. I mean, again, just the coolness, and again, knowing and aware that Rafael Leao, completely unmarked, manages to get the first goal for Zilo off the mark here on the live stream.
And that'll be a bit of a tonic to him at a moment in which we were praising him, but also just reminding everyone that he did lose his previous match. Zilo scoring first here. He is up 1-0, and well, Jimenez would love to try and double that here. It has no support, but it doesn't matter. Manyan forced into action. That controlled strike almost beating the goalkeeper on the other side. As for Takeman, he went down 2-0 in his previous match, so this will be light work for him, you'd imagine. Liao, nice footwork over to the far side. Dispossessed though by Rabiot.
I think Takeman will be wanting to give his opponent a 2-0 head start here again.
Certainly not. It's another back heel from Zilo. This time the roles are reversed between Nkunku and Liao. Oh, nice touch to try and keep things in play, but sadly trickled over the line there.
It was almost spot on there for Zilo, but Well, now the play for a goal kick. He seems to be in control here, though, Harry.
It does indeed. Of course, we'll be keeping an eye on all the tactics between the two sets of players here, as that's a really risky back pass towards Mike Maignan. Everyone at this club event finals has AC Milan players available to them, but the difference, of course, is the tactics, the player instructions, the sub-tactics. We'll be keeping a keen eye on those as things progress today. It's all about, in these club events, Wes, and the lead up to the World Finals, making sure that you're as in tune with the strengths of your club as is possible. Nice footwork again by Takeman, that time though, dispossessed.
Yeah, it's all of the preparation work that goes into it. Yes, you want to know what your team is good at. You want to know what they're bad at as well.
Nice, really nice roulette there from Jimenez. Oh! What a finish! What a move! Zilo announcing himself to the live stream. With this, was that a Trivela finish as well?
He may just do it. What a beautiful move. It was a Trivela finish. Channeling the great Brazilians of the past for AC Milan, but we'll see it again here. And he always, I will say this about these eFootball replays, it always looks so much better when they get slowed down. Just completely took him out the game. Left foot Trivela, wonderful finish into the corner of the net. Zilo as a second goal, thanks to the Mexican Santiago Jimenez.
Might be one of the best goals we see all day. The 19-year-old doubling his advantage. As for Takeman, well, it's the second game in a row in which he's conceded the first two goals. I know it's getting late over there in Japan. They're about 8 hours ahead of the time in Milan at the moment, so we're approaching about 10 p.m. over there. Takeman will need to wake up. As Jimenez threatening for him there.
Yeah, just get himself a corner for his spoils, but you're quite right. It needs to be a quick response now, much like it was in the first game against Irfan. Needs a very similar response now.
Oh, it's into a really dangerous area there. Takeman, no stranger to events. I mentioned before, was the club event finalists in 2024. Also in 2023, he took part in the National Prefectural Esports Championship in Japan, representing Tochigi Prefecture. Lost to the eventual champion Takaki around 2 to 3 years ago in that competition, but making the top 8 in Japan is no easy feat at all. 10 minutes until half-time.
Yeah, it looks as though might not get a goal back before half-time like he did against Irfan Playstyles. The ball's lumped forward by Zilo. It's coming back towards Zilo's defence now.
Yeah, just growing into this game again, Takeman. We'll just wager, perhaps, that Zilo, knowing the position he's in, no points in the group so far after his previous result, will just need to get the stunning strike off. And fire home his third goal. Zilo 3, Takeman 0. And it's just 40 minutes in. Santiago Jimenez seems to be the talisman here for Zilo.
Yeah, it certainly does. And again, you see it again from the wave of players moving forward. You see it from this angle. You saw players moving forward in white shirts, and Jimenez was that loose man over. He had so much time, he was able to perform a stunning strike, which, as we saw, Takeman try to get that clearance off in game one. Just shows you just how slowed down it can be. But Santiago Jimenez, certainly that lightning rod for Zilo in his pursuits of making the finals here today.
Yeah, realistically needs a result to go his way in this game here. Takeman with the super cancels. You see that power bar disappear and that input cancelled. That's exactly what we mean. That's a nice find here to Leo again. Really nice build-up. Takeman's on the board.
Yeah, bit of trickery, bit of ingenuity from the man from Japan. See it again here. Again, you talk about those super cancels. You talk about the power bar disappearing. It's just again, just feints and feints and feints again. It's a really well-timed over the top through ball.
Seemed like everyone forgot about Leao once he passes the ball here. Look at the space he has to run into.
Yeah, it's like we said, sometimes it is as simple as giving the ball to the AI runner. It's literally that simple sometimes within eFootball. Gets himself a goal back for half-time, although mentally, still 3-1 down here. He's going to have to do something very special here.
Zilo is a difficult player to overturn deficits against at the best of times. Here is Leao. And Kunku dispossessed by Rabiot at the second time of asking as well. So with 3 minutes added on here in the first half, can Takeman set his second half aspirations in the right direction with a goal here? Purple power bar, that was queued up for that stunning strike, but well, it's allowed here. A 3-on-3 break at the back as more white shirts join here as well, and Kunku beating Pavlovic to the ball. The first half though in the books now. Zilo 3, Takeman 1. Wes, some goals we saw in that first half.
Yeah, it was almost a clinic from Zilo at moments in that game, but interesting just in that close before half-time, that one opportunity where the kind of almost looked as though that Takeman's defence had failed him. The reason for it was that he'd got one notch up on the attack, which kind of pushes forward your defenders a little bit more aggressively. Your fullbacks or your wing-backs will push further up, but as a result, you do leave yourself lacking in defence, and that's something that Takeman is going to have to be careful of here, because Zilo's been at balanced all game. It's not going to be something that he kind of forgets. He's going to know that Takeman's pushing to try and get himself another goal here.
On the second half, now well and truly underway. It's an early corner here towards Zilo. That's a stooping header. As Zilo tries to increase his advantage. Jimenez cannot create anything just yet, but the white shirts here are relentless in attack. It's nice control from Nkunku, brings it under his spell. Cleared away, but what is, I think, most scary and concerning perhaps for Takeman is, well, Zilo is deadly accurate. Oh, look at this, twisting, turning, it's off the frame, and I was about to say he's had 5 shots, all of which on target. That one, the first that is off the mark.
It's almost egregious how good Zilo is in isolation with those skill moves of stop-starts and the abilities to just knowing timing and execution. It's incredible from the 19-year-old.
Seeing it there in real time as you're describing it. Down to Leao, nice control. Tomori hurries in, and Kunku with a double touch! Oh, again, same post is rattled.
Someone get Mayan a paintbrush to repaint that post, because it's twice in quick succession that the woodwork has been struck.
Well, it's just trying to quell the flames that are ever growing here by Zilo, whereas there's a pause, time for some tactical changes.
Yeah, I think sometimes you just need to take a breath, and interestingly, from what we can see from, I believe that is Zilo's screen there, slightly different makeup. It's almost a 4-2-2. It's a little bit more central. It's looking to make the best of what you have going through the centre, and almost completely forget about these wing options and completely forget about these wing backs. It's almost a statement of going, I'm not worried about what you've got, Takeman. I'm just going to attack you and keep attacking you.
Numero 2.
Well, here
Numero
are those
56.
substitutes.
Numero 31. Lasciano il campo per il numero 11.
That brief intermission there, of course, as we get to check in with our
il numero 33.
secondary
il
stream
numero
happening. Of course, you can check the
il
pinned
numero
comments
46.
to watch live yourselves if you're interested more in the featured match on the B stream. But here we are between Takeman and Zilo as things stand. It is Zilo, who spent some seasons in the eFootball Pro League in complete control here. That one, though, trickles away from him. But we've seen so much experience from him, even as young. I mean, I remember his brother, of course, making his debut in Porto. What was he then, 15, 16 years of age? Zilo, even younger.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, on one side of that UK champion thing was myself. The other side was Austria. I think at the time, I think it was 14. Wow. He went off to Porto and took the tournament by storm. And we saw the exact same type of thing from Zilo, representing domestically in eFootball Pro. I remember almost a comic interview where I had to interview both him and his brother. I'm just looking up to just try and figure out where I talk to them, because they're mammoth human beings, but in terms of when not only are they mammoth human beings off the console, they are Goliaths on here. And of course the scary part for me is that there's a third brother that, if you spoke to either Ostribuch or Zilo, they arguably say that he's the better of the three that we've not actually seen. So it certainly does run in the blood, just being that good at eFootball or Pro Evolution Soccer, or whichever entity you identify it as.
Might we see that third brother in the future?
Who knows, Harry? But if we do, I might just run for the hill. I might just say that that's it, that's enough. But in terms of this here, it's a performance we expect of Zilo. We expect him to be there or thereabouts. Again, narrowly lost that first game. He's come into this game with a whole kind of different mindset and shift. We've seen some incredible pieces of play from him in both super cancels and cutbacks, in just game awareness that I just think the TAKEMAN just hasn't been able to handle.
Yeah, just keeping a keen eye on exactly what the substitutes are saying here. Looks, as you said, that we're going to see some kind of mature substitutes, as it were, from Zilo. Subbing off a defender even. It's very rare you'll see that at this level of competition, but at the score 3-1, you haven't leave to defend.
Yeah, I mean, you certainly look at fatigue and the stamina. My old trick would have been a defender, midfielder, attacker, and then that way then you've at least got fresh legs in all pieces of your team. The interesting point for him though is that he's moved 2 players out to left mid and right mid, which just suggests there's a bit more conservative play coming from him.
Well, the subs are in. We've resumed the second half. TAKEMAN needs 2 goals. That's Pulisic. Well, it's fired wide of him. Well. Christian Pulisic has made this a very interesting game indeed. 3-2 now.
Just after your switches and just after you change shape is the worst time to concede. Because now you start to doubt yourself and you think, right, have I made the right changes? Have I made the right calls? The issue with it, though, is those substitutions have been and gone. There's nothing you can do about them now. Again, wonderful finish from TAKEMAN, gets himself back into the game, and again, gives something for Zilo to worry about.
We've all been there. You've just made wholesale changes. You've swapped personnel, and then immediately you concede, and you think, oh no. Have I done the right thing? Zilo will be hoping so, because of course, having lost his first game, he does not want to go into the third and final round of group stage play needing a favour from somewhere else. That would be a nightmare position to be in. Bartisagi here for TAKEMAN. He's giving chase to this result. He himself doesn't want to enter the final round with just 1 point to his name. Here's Christian Pulisic! Oh, it's 3-3! The comeback! TAKEMAN just wakes up into these games. Captain America ties it up.
Such quick feet for Pulisic. We'll see it again here. But you're quite right. Taken far too long to get himself into the game, TAKEMAN. I dread to think what would happen if he hit the front in one of these games first off. You'll see it here, again, really good patience. It's that quick touch that just gets it out of the feet of Pavlovic, I think, who was defending for Zilo. Again, see it, it's a brilliant bit. Just touches it away from him, quick feet. Neat and tidy, and it was a really good finish. And now 3-3 between these two, which again, I'm not sure if a draw really does either of them really do them a favour. I mean, of course, it depends on what is happening in the other fixture that's happening, but I'm not sure whether that actually gives them a point, really helps them out in this scenario.
No, and now after conceding 2 goals after your wholesale changes, it probably confirms it, doesn't it, Wes? Yeah, you know what, let's go back to plan A, because maybe not feeling too comfortable in terms of this switch in personnel. And now you're chasing a goal. You're chasing a result if you're Zilo, because you don't want to, after scoring 3, come away with only 1 point.
Yeah, and I think that's a quandary that he's now had, is that, again, if you keep with your plan A, because in fairness, Zilo's plan A was working. it was working. It was 3-1 up, plan A was working, that's fine. It's the risk you run when you start diverting your game plan to almost nullify your opponent. The reality is that his plan A was nullifying the opponent because he was 3-1 up. Now he's got a real problem on his hands.
The stars are shining here for TAKEMAN. Rafa Leao, his favourite player, almost running straight through the entire team. And TAKEMAN just seems to grow and grow. I cannot tell you enough how impressed I have been by the 35-year-old. And his never say die attitude. Perhaps a miscued or mispressed input there. But he has just had the mentality that you need at this level of the game. And truly, it's the belief that you can come back that is setting TAKEMAN and his adversaries apart at this moment in time.
Yeah, and that's it. It's that, as was alluded to by Anna introducing the first game, it's that seasoned warrior mentality of knowing that you have the experience of playing this game and going and playing against some very hard players in your region, knowing that you've got through it, that confidence certainly to bring yourself back from the brink. But there's an opportunity here for Zilo.
Yeah, he turned his defender, but the recovery was there. A reminder, it's not about the dog in the fight, it's about the fight in the dog. TAKEMAN here, coming forward in the home strip. Nice layoff there to Nkunku, but I believe Pulisic flagged for offside.
I think that's very much the most offside you're going to get out of this game. But that final moment's ticking down here, Harry. As I said, it'll be interesting to find out what's happened in the other game, as it's just flashed up here.
Yeah, that other game is going on as things stand. It is Foot Easy 2, fan play style 1. So the man who's smiling the most out of all of this is Foot Easy. Mr. Footy Facile would mathematically be in the finals later on. Here's Nkunku. Oh, it's a big strike from downtown, almost providing us late drama here in the 90th minute. TAKEMAN and Zilo set today to play out a 3-3 draw, which, Wes, would send us into a third round of group play in all kinds of drama. There is not drama yet, though, as Leao offers Zilo at one of the last attacks of the match. Just scores the goal that surely will take home the 3 points that perhaps he felt he deserved from the get-go. Just dangled the opportunity to TAKEMAN like a carrot on a stick, but Zilo at the last minute whips it away. 4-3.
The pole will just not be denied. Zilo will not be denied. You see it here again. Very similar to that TAKEMAN chance that we saw in game one, where it ricocheted, and that's an example of it going one way for one player and coming back for Zilo in this instance. It's a save from Magnan. Actually pushes it into his own net. I mean, the shot was goal bound anyway. I don't think it would have mattered. But it is that magic man again, Rafael Leao, and Zilo may have just took it back away from TAKEMAN. Of course, there's still a tiny bit of time left on the clock here. Whether TAKEMAN can do something with it or not remains to be seen.
His mentality has changed immediately from one blue bar to one red bar. That means he's gone a bit more attacking, TAKEMAN, but it's the home strip that need a chance, need a goal, and that will not come. After coming back from 3-0 down, TAKEMAN gave it as good as he got up until the 92nd minute, Wes. And Zilo snatches the result, snatches the victory, and snatches all 3 points.
Yeah, very much looks like Zilo won that one on points. Really did. It was hammer blow after hammer blow from those two. But again, looking at how it broke down, you feel as though Zilo may just have edged it. And I think he'll probably learn a little bit more from that game. In the sense of maybe not making changes when you're 3-1 up, maybe just leaving yourself as it was.
Yeah, he did make plenty of changes, didn't he, after conceding that one goal to TAKEMAN. It was, I mean, a game full of goals. These highlights could go on for quite some time, Wes. But the ultimate thing that matters is that Zilo survives that late resurgence from TAKEMAN after scoring, well, this could be the pick of the bunch, the Trivela finish.
I mean, he could have a goal of the day competition by himself. It really was that well put together. We'll see it here again, just a neat kind of roulette turn into that Trivela finish, or the outside of the boot finish into the corner. It's a wonderful piece of skill, but again, in those moments, Harry, it's about timing. Yes, it's knowing what to do in terms of what skill button to execute, but it's about timing and knowing when to go and execute them. It's all well and good doing it in, you know, in your own path or in the middle of the park where there's no real danger, but to do it going into the penalty box is something completely different.
So we're just watching replays of the goal that made it 3-0, and you're probably thinking as a viewer, oh, it's all done and dusted. I can put the kettle on, I can go put my feet up. But just before half-time, we saw this goal by TAKEMAN that started the comeback. We thought, okay, there's signs of life here. Then we see this goal, and with time still on the clock, with about 25 minutes left to play plus stoppages, you think, hang on a second, TAKEMAN's still alive here.
Yeah, he certainly was. I mean, again, it was after that kind of 60 to 65 minute changes that we saw, the slight changes in shape from Zilo, which, again, wonderful piece of trickery there from TAKEMAN, just again, quickness and agility to get that ball away from the defender, just rolls it home. And again, at that point, you thought, oh, it's done and dusty, we're into injury time, and then we see this.
Oh, it's heartbreaking, isn't it? Absolutely heartbreaking for TAKEMAN after scoring and coming back to tie it up 3-3 with time still on the clock. It was anyone's game, but Zilo, the young Pole in the battle of youth versus experience. It's youth that wins out. Our youngest console player here at the club event finals, Anna, is our winner and takes home 3 points.